And I thought, you know what? I'll do a quick live stream about the meme coin that I created. Very quickly went from being worth about $6,000 all the way to, at one point, over $200 million. This was not a strategic plan. They call me, what is it, a degen or whatever it is.
Hi guys, and welcome to What's the Meta. I'm your host, Ryan S. Gladwin, and I'm joined by Ron, the accidental creator of Unicorn Fart Dust, one of the biggest meme coins in recent weeks. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Ron here has a YouTube channel where he primarily discusses gold, silver, and traditional stocks. In a live stream, he spoke about how he feels like cryptos may be in a bubble after he saw Fartcoin shoot to, I think it was $1 billion market cap. It was pretty insane. I've got to agree with you, Ron. So he made Unicorn Fart Dust to sort of prove that point. And at the time of the video, it was at less than $7,000 in market cap. But Crypto Twitter quickly found that and took it to $260 million, which is absolutely insane. So first off, Ron, I want to sort of establish, how did you feel about crypto before this moment? And once you'd made Unicorn Fart Dust, what had you expected was going to happen?
Yeah, I was very skeptical of crypto for many years. My position had started to soften a little bit, maybe over the last year. But prior to my quote unquote creating Unicorn Fart Dust, I had never, 4 weeks ago right now, I had never owned a crypto in my life. I didn't know what a crypto wallet was. I didn't even know you needed a wallet to get crypto. So, from there, I just did this as an experiment, like you said. And yeah, it did in 24 hours, 36, 48 hours, whatever. Very quickly went from being worth about $6,000 all the way to, at one point, over $200 million. And I think as of this morning, today's the 8th of January, the market cap still remains somewhere like around $125, $150 million. So, but I didn't do that. I created it. I really had no idea what I was doing. It was from the very beginning like a community takeover of the whole thing. So it has been just a great ride so far on many levels, Ryan.
And when you made Unicorn Fart Dust in the beginning and you put out that video, did you expect anything to happen after that video? Did you think, oh, maybe it'll go up a bit from the video or nothing at all?
No, actually, I created it on a Monday, watched a 10-minute YouTube video about how to make a meme coin on pump.fun, used a thing called MoonPay to fund my wallet that I created. I made it, and I just kind of forgot about it for 24 hours, okay? And then the next day, after I'd finished my normal gold and silver live stream, it was probably about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock or so, I decided, hey, you know what? I forgot I saw this guy, right, sitting on my desk, which is the meme. And I remembered, and I thought, you know what? I had this little energy. I thought, I'll do a quick live stream about the meme coin that I created. That's kind of how it played out. And then from there, that evening is when it really took off.
Yeah, and sort of paint me the picture of when you realized it started to take off. I mean, as someone who's bought meme coins before, when it goes up, it's exhilarating. The adrenaline in you is crazy. But you created this meme coin and you expected nothing to come from it. Where were you? Who were you with? What did it feel like?
No, I did not. I want to emphasize that it was really an experiment, and I almost didn't do it because when I realized I had to put $100 in, the minimum deposit was $100. I was very close. I was on the bubble. Like, is this worth it? What am I doing? This is this is crazy. And for some reason, something inside me told me to do it. So I almost didn't do it. It was totally unexpected. I like to remind people, this was not a strategic plan, right? I was just kind of going through the steps. I work at night. I have a great little job at a little school by my house. And I was sitting there. It was about 5 o'clock. And I started getting these random emails from people saying, hey, your market cap is $2 million. And the first couple of ones came through and I was like, what are they talking about? How did they get my email? They found it through the YouTube video that I'd made. And then 4 million, I thought, I better check this thing. So I checked it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's real. So I called my wife, Susie, and I said, she tells the story better than me. She was decorating our Christmas tree. I said, you're not going to believe this. I said, and I don't even know if I told you this, but I made a meme coin and people are telling me that it's worth, like, the total market cap is like $5 or $6 million. And she didn't believe me. I didn't believe it. The first night was a state of shock. I put $100 into this And I wish I hadn't done this now, obviously, but I did sell just on that first night like half of the coins. So I sold, I think, 6 million of the coins when the market cap, I forget what the market cap was, but let's just say if I'd held them, it would have been a much smarter investment decision. But I did sell half of them, and it was a whirlwind of emotions, and it kind of started me on this journey that has kind of gotten us to where we are now, almost 3.5 weeks later.
Yeah, I'd love to touch on that as well. Is like you said, this is your first foray into crypto,
Yeah.
and you're at the top of one of the meme coins. Everyone's looking at you like, what do we do? What do we do? Did you feel like a weird sense of responsibility in an industry where you just don't really know what the right or wrong thing to do is?
Ryan, I really appreciate that question, because I do, and I still do right now, right? I feel a huge sense of responsibility. It's almost like, maybe this is a bad analogy, but I think it's PG rated. It's almost like I had an unexpected baby, like an unexpected child, because, and obviously there's an action that leads up to that. And there was an action that I took that I take full responsibility for, that I created the meme coin. Now I know there's like 10 or 50,000, sometimes I hear, created every day. So it wasn't like I had this strategic plan, but I did create it. And just like an unexpected child, if I had an unexpected child, I would nurture it, I would take responsibility for it, and I would love it. And in a nutshell, that's what's happened for me with Unicorn Fart Dust. Is I do feel, and maybe that's something that I need to deal with, but I feel a big sense of response. And I felt that the first night, right? Or the very soon, because all of a sudden the half of the coins that I retained and I still own, and I have no plans on doing anything with, I plan on holding them, were worth over $1 million US dollars. And that is life-changing money to my family. It is, right? But I'd already told everybody, hey, I'm not going to sell these. I did a live stream that night. Then a lot of my friends really, well, you should sell that. And I'm like, no. I just kept thinking about the thousands of people out there that own this. And I knew, look, I've traded market. I've never been in crypto before, but I've traded markets. And I knew that at that point, if I sold them, number one, I'd be lying to them. And number two, that it would hurt them. Right. And I already knew early on, Ryan, that just from the little bit of interaction I'd had with the people just in the first like 36 hours, that there were some just really great people that were coming into this Unicorn Fart Dust community and kind of taking it over from day one. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I'd love to speak to you about those people, because, I mean, I don't know how much exposure you've had to it, but crypto is a scary place sometimes. There's a lot of hackers and nefarious, malicious actors. You've had your fair encounter with them as well, I guess.
Ryan. I got hacked twice. Yeah. A public service announcement for all the other boomers out there like me. Never give a hacker your password. That's not a good idea. No matter. And turn on two-factor authorization, whatever it's called, 2FA. Mm-hmm. Sorry. But yeah, no, I have, like, right off the bat, that was most of my exposure right off the bat, was everybody trying to scam me. And I'm like, wait a minute, I made a meme coin about a unicorn, and there's all these other fuzzy animals out there in the meme coin world. I thought I was going into like Disneyland or something. And I quickly realized that I was like going into the worst pub in the worst part of town at 2:00 in the morning. But then also what I realized is that the people, the investors, right, in the community was, I can't even put it into words how lovely and supportive and receptive to me. And I didn't know why at that point. I had no idea why all of a sudden they had like adopted me. I thought, I thought I created this thing, which I guess technically I did, but they really adopted me. So
that was what I was going to ask you about, is what was that experience of, like you've been attacked at the beginning. How do you realize these people are nice to you? I assume when you're getting hacked and attacked and scammed, it's all like, I want to push this away. Yeah. How do you then get in contact with those nice people? What are they saying? What are they doing to prove that this is worth your time?
We are very focused on Twitter or X. That's where so once I realized that that's where this community was, and it was probably more into like day 2 and day 3. And my wife, Susie, was like, yeah, you need to look at Twitter and see what these people are saying. And I started to, and then they made some funny videos. They're the most creative people that I've ever met, right? They make these hilarious videos of me with, with AI. And I started to get this real tangible connection and feeling that there really is a community here, that there really is. And it also helped me realize where the real value is in crypto, and in particular with meme coins, right? That this thing that in the past I'd said, well, it's nothing, right? Touch a meme coin, touch a Bitcoin, it's nothing. That there is really something there. And I was flooded with emails, I was flooded with DMs. I never even knew what DMs were on X until 3 weeks ago. And just an outpouring of good, nice people, right? And the scammers still try to scam me. And I've said before, like the hackers, like, hey, my hat's off, right? They're very intelligent. This guy was really good that got me. I mean, he was super intelligent, but I believe even they have like some good in their hearts, right? I believe that, I've said, hey, I wish they would help us, right? These are smart people. They could really help spread the good word about unicorn fart dust. And they taught me a lesson, but I have a lot of respect for them, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, you touched on it there. It seems like throughout this journey, your opinion on crypto has changed a little bit.
Yeah.
How exactly has it changed? And what do you think crypto really is now?
To me, it's people. It's based on people. But Ryan, and I think about this, and I don't have any gold here, but I've got some silver here because I was a silver and gold guy. And I'll use the example of gold because I love gold. I still love silver. I think they're great. They're like the original cryptocurrencies is what I would call them. They've lasted thousands of years outside of all the different monetary systems. But if you think about gold, I mean, gold does have some uses in its physical form, electronics, but really somewhat limited. What really makes gold valuable is that a lot of people agree that it's valuable. It's the people that agree that it's valuable. So when I look at unicorn fart dust, for example, what I consider to be the world's best meme coin, but it's about people. The value is created by the people, and then eventually that creates the price. But it's the people that belong. It's the people that can feel like what we're doing is real, and there's a lot of good. Like we have this thing called hashtag good attracts good, because it's like we want to do good. We want it to be a good place. It's unicorns, it's magic, the whole story, which is, I didn't know what I was doing, but what I did always do through this process is what I felt was right and honest. And that resonates with people, and people want that good. And then there's the fact that I'm almost a boomer. I'm not really technically a boomer, but that's where to get back to your question. To me, yeah, my perspective on it completely changed when I realized that the real value proposition is in the community, is in the people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I feel like I've said a million times on this podcast now is
Yeah.
community is the basis of all of, especially meme coins, but also these bigger ones. You look at Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're pushed by community as well. Have you thought about venturing outside of unicorn fart dust? Have you looked at other meme coins, other cryptocurrencies, as your opinion has changed?
No.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I'll be, like you touched about earlier, I feel a huge responsibility to the community. Okay. Right or wrong. Right. I mean, but they've proven to me what they are. And I told them I'll show up every day. I'll do a live stream. I'll do the best I can. I will remain laser focused on unicorn fart dust. My horn is pointed toward the sky. And for right now, that's more than I can handle. And luckily I've had some unbelievable great people come up. I've said like the cream rose to the top. I've got like an advisory team, trusted people that are helping me with certain things. And, people that are saying, yeah, talk to Decrypt. They're like, Ryan's like, one of the best guys out there. And, it's a good idea, that type of thing. Cause I have no idea. I mean, I get all kinds of stuff thrown at me. And as I'm learning, they're helping me, and we're learning together. And we want to grow this thing. I don't want unicorn fart dust to be, I think some people call them gambling coins, right? Where like it shoots to the sky and then just crashes and everybody forgets about it. I want the unicorn to have a big, long flight, and I want there to be excitement along the way. But I always want this community to remember, like, we need to keep long-term goals in focus, right? And there will be lots of excitement and whatever, but the more people we can get we call them beans, jelly beans, because jelly beans, as you may or may not know, when unicorns eat jelly beans, that's what gives them gas, and that creates unicorn fart dust. So, but we want to get all the beans. Okay. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, I actually studied economics. I have a degree in accounting. I know numbers. You know, I have to say it. I say it every time I talk to somebody. When I learned that there were 999 million coins, period, right? Finite. They can never make any more. When I learned there were 999 million beans, and I started seeing all these, and our community calls themselves dusters, starting to get these beans, and then they started calling themselves diamond hooves, and I was like, if we keep building the number of people that are buying these beans and holding on to them, that also creates value. It's created by the community, right? It all boils back to the community. But as they get more and more of the beans, and there's a bean shortage, well, anything that's in short supply, the price goes up.
With that, you mentioned that you've been laser focused on unicorn fart dust. And I've noticed that on your channel, you've not really spoken about silver and gold as much.
Right.
You used to put out daily live streams, I think you mentioned on them. Has your opinion on silver and gold changed at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I still love silver and gold. Absolutely. It's just this new transformative event came into my life, and it's just been overwhelming. But it's like I said, it's like I had an unexpected child. And like I have two daughters, I told you upstairs, twin 12-year-old daughters. One's name was Silver and one's name was Gold, and a new baby showed up at our door, unexpected. We'd probably have to focus a lot on the new baby, right? And I didn't create silver and gold. That's the other thing, right? I didn't got well, I kind of, they call me the boomer based dev, right? Is that right? Yeah. I mean, I created unicorn fart dust. It's been a miracle and magical what's happened, but at the end of the day, I created it. So that's why I also feel like a big responsibility to it. And and showing up every day, being honest, being transparent. I've told everybody, if I ever do anything, buy, which I have been buying, or if at some point I may ever decide to sell a very small part or whatever, that I'll always tell you before I do it, right? Not like, disappear. No, I mean, these people trust me. I mean, it's unbelievable, the people. I mean, that was the biggest shocking thing to me when I thought, the business side of it is tricky, like you said. Right? I'll be nice and say tricky. And there's some great people on the business side. I talked with the guy Luca from Pudgy Penguins yesterday. I mean, that guy's awesome, right? People helped me early on. I mean, there's some really great people out there. On the business side, there's some other characters as well. But on the investor side, it's like the inverse. It's like, maybe I'm jaded, but the coin's already gone through a couple corrections as it's kind of finding its path upward here. The people are incredible. They really are. I mean, they really are.
From the outside looking in, it feels like a big part of this is the community sort of falling in love with your personality, and it's wholesome to watch it play out. I've seen a lot of people online saying about how much they love Ron and they love the person behind this, and I do think that is a big element here.
Yeah, well, could they talk to Susie, my wife, please?
But for that reason, I feel like a lot of investors don't want to see you come off bad here. Like you mentioned, you've sold half of your bag, but you've been buying up some more. And I feel like the community probably at one point would want you to sell even a tiny fraction, so you do profit something off of it. What is your strategy on that? What is your thinking there? Or is that not even...
It's not even anything that I'm thinking about right now. I committed on Christmas. Christmas Day was the 10-day mark where I guess if I was going to do a what do they call it, a rug pull, and I think I bought some. I did. I like to joke around and say I do rug pushes. And then I committed to another 3 months, which would have that March 25th. I hope I don't ever have to sell any of it, right? Like I'm not a wealthy guy, but I don't need a lot. I drive a 13-year-old minivan. Susie may feel differently, but we're okay. We live very just normal, extravagant lifestyles. So, I don't know what other, look, I'm 3 weeks into this. So I think there's other ways down the road too that could generate some income that, maybe I never have to sell any of the unicorn fart. I mean, look, I really believe, Ryan, that like if this community, or when this community sticks to what they're doing, and like this is like, we're kind of the underdog to a certain extent. Everything about, I didn't know it, I didn't do it on purpose, but like I said, it's just I was doing what I thought was right. Like we didn't have any promotions. I owned the most I ever owned was 1.2%. That the community sticks with this, and I believe they will, right? That we will get more. And like I said, they call themselves diamond hooves that buy this and hold on to it and hold on to it. And as the price, because the community grows, the price grows, people won't have to sell that much. And that if we continue with what has really become like a heartwarming mission of doing good, people want to do good things, and we appeal to everybody all over the world. I didn't, again, I didn't plan any of this, but like everybody in the world wants to be good and wants to be, I think our community core values attracts pretty much everybody. It's not like it was a coin made about, trout fishing that would only apply to a small niche market. On accident, it appeals to everybody.
I'm really interested about that 10-day mark that you mentioned, where Christmas Day, it feels like sort of, all right, I'm going to double down here, or we could just fizzle out into nothing. I'm interested about why someone like you, who lives a normal lifestyle, can stick to a project like this. But when celebrities come into this space, I don't know how much you know about this, but a lot of celebrities have come in and they've launched a token, and within minutes sometimes they've quit the project, and people have put their money in and lost it all. Why do you think that, like, the everyday man, essentially being yourself, is able to do this and continue on with a project, but celebrities maybe aren't?
I don't know. I can't speak, and I'm not an expert on what's gone on in the past. I have a pretty good understanding of, now that I've been around, now that I'm a three-week veteran of meme coins, of some of the things that have occurred. I think all I can do is really just do what feels right for me. And to me, what feels right is being honest, having integrity. Maybe part of it, I don't know, it's because I'm just a middle class, guy who understands what it's like to try to make it in the real world, and to think that like some other person out there like me, or maybe somebody who's even not as well off as me, has put their money into this that they earned, right? That for me to just basically steal that from them, I want to be able to sleep at night. It's hard enough to sleep being in the meme coin sector. They call me, what is it, a degen or a degen or whatever it is. I need to be able to sleep at night, know that in my heart that I'm treating people right. And Ryan, it's interesting because I'll tell you why I was able to do it. Like I said, I mean, I know right where I was standing on my screened in porch right outside when I looked at my phone, and I saw $1.2 million. And again, that's Unicorn Fart Dust is my biggest single investment by far. And I'm looking at $1.2 million, and I'm like, wow. And I'm an accountant, and I'm a very money oriented person my whole life, right? Very frugal, everything. But there was just something in my heart that felt like, outside of the fact that it's the honest thing to do, the have integrity, all that, but there was just something in my heart that I can't even put into words, that was just like I knew that what was going on here was something special. And whether it was at the 10-day mark or the 2-day mark, those were kind of the big pivotal areas for me. I was like, and I told my wife, I'm like, I know that this is the right thing for us to do. I know that it is. So, I'm one day at a time. And I always tell people, look, all I can do is prove it to you one day at a time. I'll be here. I'll stick to my word, and that's just the way that I, handle things.
I think it may be that sort of connection of, like you said, you know what it's like to be a normal person, sort of trying to make it in the world, and if you invested something and got rug pulled, it's maybe more than a day ruiner.
I would be angry. I mean, I would be personally be very angry, and it's important for me that I treat anybody out there, whether it's the person at the McDonald's drive-through or the person who's in our unicorn fart duster community, that I treat them the way that I like, want to be treated. And yeah, and I think now what I've learned, and I'll touch on this quickly, is yeah, I am an average guy, right? I grew up middle class and had the great parents who sent me to great universities, and I played soccer, which I think you call football, all the way through college. And I know, but I know what it's like to have to scrap, and I know what it's like to try to make it, because I think a lot of people know and feel like the whole like it's not like it's a rigged game. If you're looking at the stock market, if you're looking at even the whole kind of monetary and economic system, and if you're in America, if you're a young person who just wants to buy a house, like it's like everything is slanted against you. And I didn't realize that by just being myself and just being honest, what I was representing to these people, and thank God for the blockchain and 999 million beans period, was a fair shot. We're like we can be insulated from, Wall Street can't affect unicorn fart dust. Well, I don't want to tempt them, but anyway, and it's a fair shot for like people who feel like, they're kind of fed up with, I didn't learn that until really probably the last week and a half, but I was like, yeah, that's what we can do. That's part of our mission as well.
It's interesting you said that sort of concept of being alienated from the traditional finance system is called financial nihilism, and it's that idea of the traditional systems of real estate and bonds and stocks maybe aren't enough to get me on the property ladder and have a comfortable life. And I think that is a big thing that's motivated the meme coin market 100%.
Yeah, because they talk about like democratization, and like to me I try to convey that to my audience. I'm like, this is our chance. Like, I can never make another unicorn fart dust ever again, right? This is our shot with this community to kind of, in our own little, insulated is a word I like to use. Like, we can be insulated from the stock market. We can be insulated from the bond market. We can even be insulated to a certain degree from the entire crypto market, right? I mean, the community is, as we grow stronger and stronger and people hold on, it's like, I think, yesterday a lot of the cryptos went down and unicorn fart dust went up, and that might just be a one-off for whatever reason, but if we focus on the community and doing good and attracting more and more people from all around the world, right, we really can be insulated and kind of blaze our own trail. And it's not me. I mean, I'm just kind of the face of it. It's the community that is doing it, no doubt.
I can't believe we've got this deep, and I haven't asked you, what is unicorn fart dust? Where did that meme come from? Why did you name it that?
Why did I had for years, and I did not make the name up, okay? For years, I had always referred to cryptocurrency as unicorn fart dust. So now I can say that, unicorn fart dust is a cryptocurrency. But yeah, I would say it's unicorn fart dust. And I would also say that about the US dollar. I would say it about, all the fiat currencies. I have a deep understanding of economics and monetary systems and financial systems. So I would always, say, it's nothing but unicorn fart dust, right? Show me a Bitcoin. I would reach around and, say, I can't see it. Where is it? So that's where it came from. I mean, I fully admit, everybody knows, I was a crypto skeptic. I was never a big hater. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Especially over the last year, I was like, guys, like, crypto people and precious metals people share like 99.9% of the same beliefs. And the reason why they invest in what they invest in is 99% the same. There's just that little bridge between what they invest in that can create some real contention, amongst the two parties.
Ron, this has been lovely speaking to you. I've got one more question for you. From this whole journey, what do you think your biggest misconception about crypto was before, and how have you overcome that? How did you learn that wasn't the case?
Probably that it was worthless, that it was unicorn fart dust. And what I learned is that unicorn fart dust is cryptocurrency. Like I talked about before, I realized, I woke up and I was listening to a talk by a guy named Murad, if you know who he is.
Yep.
And then I listened to a talk from Luca from Pudgy Penguins, like 2 20-minute videos. And it was about the second or third day, and I was laying in my bed and I was like, I was almost floating because I was like, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. The value is in the community, and the community that is real. That is, the price of the coin is important, right? Prosperity, but what really matters is the community. And then I'll give you a bonus answer on top of that. I didn't really have, if you had asked me prior to all this, like the people, the investors, what I would have expected, I would have expected uh, something very much shorter in terms of quality than what I've received from the investor side of things. The investors, the people are really awesome, and that probably is the biggest that's made. Look, it's been crazy 3 weeks, man. It's I'm 54 years old. I love it. It's exciting. It's fun. But this wouldn't be happening without just this like tangible feeling of goodness and caring and love that I'm getting from the community. And I think it's real, and I know it's real, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing where Unicorn Fart Dust ends up. Thank you so much for joining me, Ron.
I like you, Ryan. So yeah, maybe we can talk. You're a good guy, and thank you on behalf of the entire duster community, right? All the Unicorn Fart Dusters. I think you're our friend, and it's been really great talking to you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.